collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the second wave of 5-inch Simpsons action figures from Jakks Pacific. We have Moe, Krusty the Clown, and Lisa. Now there is technically a fourth figure in this wave. If we spin this around to the back, you can see that they included Homer again. As far as I can tell, it is the exact same Homer figure from wave 1. So I guess they just figured he's a popular character. They wanted to put him in again in case people missed out during the first wave. But obviously I skipped him here as I've already taken a look at that one and I already have that in my collection. So yeah, I'm excited to get Moe and Krusty. These are two characters that we don't have in even the 2.5-inch line. So they are brand new here from Jakks Pacific. Lisa we do have in the 2.5-inch line, available as a single figure with her saxophone or in the family pack without the saxophone. I still have not been able to find the single packed Lisa with the sax for the 2.5-inch, so excited to at least get it here with this one. But yeah, they look pretty good. Pretty standard packaging here. We have this, got the yellow couch silhouette here with the Simpsons. Have the family members around the sides of the box. Then on this side, you have a close-up of the figure that is included. And then you can see Moe here, and he does come with a few accessories. The classic phone, so he can receive the crank calls from Bart. And then it looks like a washcloth here just to kind of clean up the bar. Krusty over here comes with a microphone, and then as we already mentioned, Lisa has her saxophone. So I'm going to go ahead, get these three out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look. So here are the three figures out of the packaging. We'll start over here with Lisa. Unfortunately, I feel like Lisa's probably the most disappointing of the wave. It's still a decent figure, but just a few issues I have with it. One, she can hold the saxophone as you see here, but it doesn't take much for her to kind of lose her grip on it. The hands are just really small. I noticed something similar with Bart and the slingshot, and I feel like they just need to start making the hands a little differently. I don't really know what it is, but they're very small. They don't have much of a grip, and this can kind of wedge in here and holds it decently, but it really doesn't take much for it to fall out. The saxophone itself, I feel like, looks pretty good. They did a good job molding that, and I think that's nicely done. It doesn't have any, kind of detail on this side, but you have all of the different buttons and things for the saxophone over here. Maybe a saxophone doesn't. Actually, saxophones probably don't have buttons on both sides. I've never played, if you can't tell. But in any case, I think the saxophone looks pretty good. I just wish she could hold it a little bit better. It's just, they just need to start making these hands a little differently. I don't know. Maybe if they decided to do just like a closed fist, and then they could kind of not have the bottom part, and then this could just kind of slide in or something. Or, I don't know, just something. Make the hands a little differently, because especially with the smaller characters, I'm finding they have issues holding on to their accessories. The head sculpt, I think, is pretty good. I do wish they would soften the eyes a little bit. Maybe just give her like the tiniest little bit of an eyelid or something, just so the eyes didn't seem so wide and bugged out. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. I know it's hard to kind of do the Simpsons hair in 3 dimensions, so I feel like they did a decent job with that. Head can swivel side to side. She has her pearls there. You have a hinge and a rotation in the shoulder, as well as a hinge and a rotation at the elbow. You have a wrist swivel as well as a hinge in the wrist, which I do appreciate. Don't really have any kind of swivel in the body. The way the dress is done, as I drop the figure, you can see it's just kind of like a cone here, and then there's a separate piece underneath, so you do have a little bit of movement there. There are ball joints for the hips, but at least on mine, they're very stiff. They can kind of kick forward a little bit out to the side. The functionality is there. I just can't get it to do it very much, so kind of limited posing. You do have some knee bends there, which are a little tight as well. And then I think the shoes just kind of swivel side to side. So unfortunately, just kind of limited articulation, and the fact that you can't hold on to the saxophone that well. And the head sculpt is fine, but not amazing. So again, it's not a terrible figure. It's just, it could be better. And I'm kind of hoping they can eventually kind of find their footing with these hands. Find their footing with the hands. In any case, they need to make the hands a little differently just so they can hold accessories a little bit better. So yeah, we'll see how long she can actually hold on to that. Next up, we have Krusty. I think Krusty looks pretty great. You can see he can actually hold the microphone in his hand pretty well. But you can also take it out and actually just slide it into the stand. So if you want him to use the microphone stand, you can do that. I think this is definitely, a remold of the Homer sculpt, but I think it works because Krusty and Homer always kind of looked very similar. I think the head works. You know, that hair looks really good. Head can swivel from side to side. You have the hinge and rotation in the shoulder. And then you have a bicep swivel kind of where the arm meets the cuff of the shirt. You have a elbow bend and swivel there as well. And then you have a wrist swivel and hinge as well. But because of the way the gloves are done, I feel like this is a separate piece kind of put over the forearm and then the hand is plugged in. So when you try to utilize this, that cuff piece of the glove kind of gets in the way a little bit. Just to point that out. You can still, you know, swivel it around and it's not too bad. It's mostly just for the hinge. You do have some movement here where the pants kind of meet the shirt. There's a little bit of play there. Really nice ball joints here in the hip. So pretty good range of motion there. You have a knee bend. Again, mine's really tight. And then you have a swivel here for, actually, I guess it's kind of a ball joint. You can see a little bit of up and down there for his gigantic clown shoes. I feel like the clown shoes are a little oversized. I don't know what reference materials they're using, but I feel like they could be slightly smaller, but it's fine. I mean, they still look good, and this is definitely Krusty, and I think it works. So happy to have him in the line. And then my favorite here is Mo. Mo's just the character I've always really enjoyed, and I think they really nailed the head sculpt. You can see, because he has kind of like the large brow, it subdues the eyes, and it just looks more natural for the character, so he doesn't have the massive bug eyes. But I think they did a good job with his head sculpt. Head can swivel from side to side. Pretty much all the same articulation as the others, the hinge and the rotation in the shoulder. You also have a swivel where the cuff of the shirt sleeve meets the arm, and then you have the elbow. That's the same as everybody else. You can see he's holding the rag, I guess, for using to clean the bar. Again, the hands are a little better with the adults as far as gripping, but still not great. I mean, you can kind of wedge this in here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the way they make the accessories or the way they make the hands or both, but you can see it's a little better there. He does have his telltale apron, but it is removable. If you come around to the back here, it's kind of made of a soft, malleable plastic, and it's a little difficult to get this to pop out of here. I'm kind of a little afraid I'll break that eventually, but you can unpeg that, and then you can slide this completely off. Still has the bow tie. You have a little bit of waist movement. The belt is actually connected to the torso, so it spins here, and it doesn't spin a lot for whatever reason, but you have good range of motion with the hips there. You have the knee bend. I don't think there's a swivel. At least it doesn't, it almost kind of feels like it wants to rock back and forth, but it doesn't want to move much more than that, and I don't want to break it. So you do have a ball joint here at the ankle, so you can move the shoe around a little bit. But yeah, Mo looks good. I think, like I said, Mo is probably my favorite of this wave. I've just always liked the character, but I also think the figure is very successful. The head sculpt is good. You know, his outfit, I think, is definitely perfect. And then you do have the apron that you can decide to use or remove. And it's pretty simple to put on and off. Just kind of slide this back up, and then you just have to peg this back on. Not too bad. It can be a little difficult to get that in there, but there we go. Okay, and then he's got his apron back on. So, and he looks great. I mean, with the apron, I think it really works. And then you can put the little dishcloth or rag, whatever we want to call that, back in. Now, his other accessory, of course, is the iconic phone, where he can receive his crank calls from Bart. It's pretty basic, but I think it works. You have raised buttons here that are actually painted white. You can actually remove the phone. So he should be able to hold this. I haven't actually tried it yet, but let's see if we can actually put this in his hand. Yeah, he holds on to that fairly well. So if they do any kind of bar play set or something like that, you could then put the phone on the bar counter and have him answer the phone. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm glad that they included that as such a iconic part of how Mo interacts with the Simpsons family. And then that just kind of sits on there. So yeah, pretty cool little accessory there. I like that quite a bit. Honestly, not a bad wave of figures. Like I said, Lisa's fine, but unfortunately just kind of my least favorite of the wave, just from a couple of limitation standpoints, and those eyes are just really piercing. Krusty's eyes are a little intense as well, but you know, I don't know why they just seem to suit, maybe because he has a larger head or something. I'm not 100% sure, but they seem to suit him a little bit more. And then I think the head sculpt for Mo is probably the best. But I do really like Krusty's hair, you know, his outfit, the giant clown shoes, maybe a little big, but overall pretty good. And I think the accessories are good. Like, I like the microphone for Krusty. I think that makes sense. The phone and cloth for Mo make total sense. I appreciate that the aprons are movable. I think the way they did that works really well. Yeah, a pretty good wave of figures. Like I said, technically Homer is also part of this wave, but if you already have them from wave 1, you can skip them. Now, I have not seen these in stores yet. I got mine from Amazon, so I don't know when they'll be popping up in stores, but I would assume fairly soon now that Amazon has them. And I don't know about wave 2 of the 2.5-inch figures, but I'll be trying to get a hold of them as soon as I can as well. So yeah, a fun little wave here. Definitely some iconic characters. Hopefully this line continues. I feel like what you get for the price point is very fair. These are like $12.99 a piece, and I think that's pretty good. Fairly detailed, nice articulation, you know, one kind of or two key accessories per figure. I think that totally works. Just need to work on those hands a little bit. Make it so they can grip their accessories a little better. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.